Chuck Norris for being here. Thank you, Steve Ministeri, for all that you're doing. Gina, thank you also for being here. You know, I've over the past 10 minutes, I've been going through some mental processing. You all know that I have a multi-part platform of what I want to achieve as your next governor. Part of that ensures that we step up and do what the federal government has failed to do, and that is to secure our border. I'm thinking I will amend my plan, however, because it was not in there before today, but I am amending my plan as a two-word plan to secure our border. And those two words are Chuck Norris. Well, as your Attorney General, I have been fighting for your fundamental liberty against an overreaching federal government. A federal government that's been trying to run too much of your lives and take too much of your money. That is why I have sued Barack Obama 30 times now, and I am not done yet. But there is another reason why I have waged those fights. And the reason why we are even here today, and the reason why I've engaged in that litigation is premised on one fundamental, foundational principle of this nation. That's the principle of freedom. And we need to all understand that the only reason why we get to participate in democracy today is because we have had the greatest fighters for freedom in the history of this world by the men and women who have served in the United States military. One of those who served, I am looking for at this moment, and I've lost him, is my brother Gary. Right here. Gary served in the United States Navy, flew about 45 combat missions in the first Persian Gulf War, and had his retirement ceremony at the Alamo here in San Antonio. But for any man or woman who's ever worn the uniform, could you wave your hand so we can personally say thank you for your service to the United States of America? But of course, I've done so much more as your Attorney General. I've elevated the Texas child support system to be ranked #1 in the nation. And I have fought for faith. I defended the Ten Commandments monument on the Texas Capitol grounds all the way to the United States Supreme Court, and we won. And more recently, I've been battling for fundamental First Amendment rights, as we've seen a horrific intrusion into religious liberties when the mayor of Houston, Texas, demanded that pastors turn over their speeches. That's wrong, and we will stop that. We will stop cities from intermingling with what pastors are preaching. If the city wants to know what teachers are preaching, let's just send them a copy of the Bible. And I have fought. I was one of the attorneys general who fought against Obamacare. I fought against Obamacare not just because I believe that it violates the Constitution, but because I've seen the ways that it harms average, everyday Texans, especially women. You know, you were told a lie when the president looked into your eye and told you that if you like your doctor, you will get to keep your doctor. If you like your health care insurance, you will get to keep your health care insurance. I've talked to countless women across the state of Texas. Women who were pregnant who lost their doctor. Women who had cancer who lost their doctor. It is time that we get government out between the doctor-patient relationship and eliminate these bureaucrats and restore medicine to where it should be, allowing patients to choose their own doctor. And I've been involved in some other recent litigation. Litigation that ensures the integrity of the ballot box, ensuring that we will have the voter ID law applied in this election cycle. The truth is, I have prosecuted voter fraud across the state of Texas. Voter fraud is real. It must be stopped. One way to stop it is voter ID laws. And I will continue to wage this fight to prevent cheating and illegal voting at the ballot box here in Texas. But now, after serving 12 years as your Attorney General, I am ready to fight for the future of Texas as your next governor. To echo what Steve Ministeri was talking about, you need to understand that over the next 2 weeks, there's going to be an intensified battle defining the different pathways for the future of this state. My opponent has embraced the Barack Obama big government liberalism that has hijacked states like California and Massachusetts, and now they're trying to use to impose on Texas. We've seen her vote to raise taxes, vote to increase spending, vote to impose heavy-handed regulations that would crush the growing job sector we have here in the state of Texas. She's even voted to restrict Second Amendment rights, and she voted against God and the Pledge of Allegiance. Well, don't you worry, because I will not let the next 4 years in Texas look like the last 6 years under Barack Obama. We will I will keep Texas #1 in the nation for job creation. You know, as I look around the room today, it seems to me we have at least as many women as we do men. And some of you are probably part of the Texas economic miracle. I want you to know a fabulous number. There are more than 737,000 women-owned businesses in the state of Texas. Texas ranks #2 in the nation for women-owned businesses. Under my leadership, we will make Texas #1 in the nation. And I will also build the roads and the water projects we need to keep Texas growing. When a guy in a wheelchair can go faster than traffic at the intersection of 410 and I-10. And I will ensure a brighter future for education for our students here in Texas. I want you to know that Ms. Swagger right here, who I'll talk about a little bit more in a second, she served as a teacher in schools here in San Antonio for 25 years. 25 years. Her daughter, my wife, has served as both a teacher and a principal. And we've seen firsthand the way that education can transform the lives of children to be able to achieve things that parents couldn't even dream of. Well, there's so much that we must do for education. One thing that we must do is we must return genuine local control to our schools so that teachers get to truly educate our kids. And I will ensure that we keep Common Core and C-Scope out of our schools here in Texas. Grander, because the way I see it, as Steve Ministeri said, we are number one in the nation for jobs. We're number one in the nation for energy production. We are number one in the nation for exports. We're number one in the nation for farms. It is time that we add another number one ranking. Texas should be number one in the nation for educating our children. I will help us achieve that. And there will be another change in this state. As you all have seen throughout the campaign and as you see today, I am charting the pathway and setting the message for a new tone and tenor in this state. Because the fact is, my family is multicultural. And we will represent the multicultural values that have made Texas the premier state in the United States of America. All right. History that's been made in this race. One way in which history has been made is, as far as I'm aware of, no other candidate for any other office anywhere in America has begun their advertising campaign with the candidate's mother-in-law saying good things about her son-in-law. The other history is going to be made 2 weeks from yesterday. I want you to watch your clocks at about 7:15 when you see the polling data come in and see that we are pulling off another victory. At that moment, 13 days from today, we will also make Texas history, because at that moment, my wife will be the first Hispanic First Lady. But that will only happen if you go vote. Speeches are nice, TV ads are nice, but they don't win elections. Only one thing wins elections, and that is votes. How many of you have already voted early? Outstanding. We need anyone who did not just raise your hand, we need you to go vote today. Don't put off till tomorrow. What you can do today is vote today. And then after that, I need everyone here in the room to get 5 people to go vote. That doesn't mean calling 5 people. It doesn't mean emailing 5 people. And Facebooking doesn't count. You have to take personal responsibility to get 5 people to vote. Because remember, this is about more than electing me. This is about electing the future leadership and future direction for each of you. This takes your own personal responsibility to ensure that we keep Texas going in the right direction. So if you cast those votes, and if you can get 5 people to turn out and vote for me before Election Day, we will succeed in keeping Texas the best state in the United States of America.